everyone looking at this picture to remember that propagandists, liars, all the bad people on earth have one characteristic that a lot of you don't understand. I don't have to get the devil's permission to say the devil is lying, nor do I have to get their consent or even input when proving it. I don't have to listen to all sides. Both sides or all sides is one of the dumbest memes in history. Don't bring it up. There isn't two sides to the story. There is reality itself, and then there are people who either misrepresent it or represent it accurately. What do you see in front of you besides what looks like some really strange 90s music video stage? This is a older or modern, depending on where you look it up, auto rack. It's a set of pieces of equipment that are used to load cars onto a train through multiple cars, and then the doors between each car are used to flip up and or flip out or flip in or whatever, and get out of the way so that it will close or enclose a bunch of cars. They can be 1, 2, or 3 layers deep, and these have been around for a very long time. A very, very long time. Sometimes they were built like this, where they would tilt up, putting the engine, the heaviest part, towards the front. If it was rear engine jobs, they put it the other way. In order to hold them in place, they have to hold them in place with tie-downs or clamps that are also called shackles. Somebody found one of these older ones tipped over, and it was on Instagram or something, and it was from a pile-up where they had to drag the cars out. The trains themselves, these racks, as you can see from here, experienced a lot of damage, so they left them there to be scrapped later. The main thing was the expensive cars. The packaging is supposed to be cheaper than what you put in it. In the case of rail cars and other transport equipment, sometimes it isn't. But you might have noticed even after a derailment, that's the damage. Yeah, it's because they're built as tough as possible. Some of you who were around in 2013, a lot of you weren't, that know about this being used as propaganda. It was never true. It was never real. And if you tell anybody old enough or tell anybody who's chronically or terminally online, as they call it these days, about this, if they've ever seen it, they will scream at you, especially if you take them to a rail yard and show them these. They're still in use. And by the way, the idea is this one flops down to be one of the treads for the wheel, and then the other one is on the other side in front, or in front of it on the other side, so it has the rails going back and forth between them. But sometimes they had full sheets that were dropped down. And if we look here, you can see that there's a rail in the middle for the tie-downs that go onto the axles and wheels. A 102,000 boxcar, rail car, tire, shackles, and breathing holes out of PDX. These were made in Portland. I was able to go visit the place this was done at. I even did some computer work for them without knowing it. And more importantly, this wasn't hidden. You could see on Google Street View, one of the Google Street Views from Portland showed you these being made. But that was 2013. Barack Obama exists. Therefore, anything that was done, the Affordable Care Act or anything passed, had to be demonized. Demonizing is when you lie about something being evil so that people will help you destroy it. They became FEMA trains to FEMA camps where they had FEMA coffins waiting for you. Versus 10 cents per round, which is what's done in every totalitarian society. When they want to get rid of people, they do it cheaply. No, let's create what they're alluding to as cattle cars. But if you say cattle car, someone will point out that's not a cattle car. Your average conservative may or may not live down on the farm, but they can look up cattle car, that ain't it. Yeah, that's what they look like. And then we have the 30,000 guillotines. Water infrastructure improvements and sewer system improvements were being taken care of by these guillotine gate valves. That's literally what it is. Some of you have seen them, you just don't see the lower part. And yes, some of them are a foot across, and technically you can put someone's head in it and spend, 5 minutes it's not a real guillotine. That was literally what was on the forms. The U.S. government and many state governments used to put these up, and I had, at one time when I did a video, over 100 links to each state receiving money for buying these to improve the water systems because they were found to be the cheapest, most economical, more straightforward, and least problematic way to do it. You bolt them between two pipe sections you're going to join anyway, and just stick them in there. They make them with different bolt hole patterns and different diameters. They're made for the standard pipe diameters for sewer systems and water systems. And they had the lowest failure rate, so you could get funding to get these, and that was it. That was all it was talking about. And it wasn't even approval, but 30,000 guillotines was the maximum per county. Let's move on. Let's not move on. None of this was ever true. This is 2013 demonizing someone, a specific individual who just got elected. It was never based on you being able to present facts to disprove a lie. It was always based on repeating it. As late as 2015, various newspapers were having to repost stories from the last time they rebuked this. Now it's going to be Biden? Maybe Hunter Biden. Oh, well, nobody cares about that because now you're all after Kamala. And yes, this is one of the images from the Instagram or whatever it was, Flickr page, excuse me, where this came from. It was Roco Photography, 2014. He was doing this as an in-joke, but someone reused it. Towards the end, you see him showing you the reveal. This is from a bunch of boxcars that wrecked. But he called them FEMA trains because everybody was calling them FEMA trains, including the people at railroads. They did this as a joke about stupid people. And then if you ask them seriously, say, no, it's for carrying cars. Here's one that's loaded. They have binders at the bottom and rails and such to keep the cars from coming out. What do you think? They just put on the parking brake? Some of the designs you can't put a parking brake. Like that. So throughout the entire time this has been done, virtually all of these have been based on tying them down or using, they're called shackles. So anyway, going off the rails on a FEMA train. So I'm not showing the famous image. I'm showing more recent ones. Newer ones look a little bit less or a little bit more scary if you really want to think of it that way. Anyway, that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. I wish you all luck with that. And yes, those are the guillotines that were being talked about in many states and many counties, buying guillotines for poor areas to fix their water pipes. Yes, I'm talking about replacing the lead pipes in Detroit. That's literally what this is about. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it.